What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, with another review for Abbott Elementary Season 4, episode number 2, you guys. And this episode was titled Ringworm. Now, before we go ahead and get into the review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and also by sharing the video, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let us go ahead and get into this episode of Abbott Elementary, shall we? All right, you guys, so this episode of Abbott was hilarious to me, you guys. I cracked up this entire episode. So the episode opens at the PTA meeting, right? This ain't the parent-teacher, the parent-teacher thing, right? This is parents throwing ass. And the person who is holding, you guys remember that Tariq is behind the PTA, right? So then we also see, I forgot what Raven Goodwin's character's name is. You guys remember the one last season that Barbara judged because of the piercings that she had? She's also up there on the stage. I was like, what kind of PTA meeting is this, right? So they up there telling the parents about where to get the kids' school clothes from. They can't come from here. They got to come from here. And the place that it got to come from is mostly because they got a damn discount. I was like, I know you lying to me, but I hollered. I really hollered more so at the fact that that shit said PTA, parents throwing ass. Parents throwing ass, you guys. That shit took me out. I was not ready to see parents throwing ass. But, it is what it is. Parents do throw ass, I guess, right? So we see Jacob. So Jacob is teaching his class, right? And as class was ending, he noticed that one of his students was scratching, right? So he asked him, why are you scratching? And another kid said, because he's dirty. And he's like, no, he's not. So then the kid lifted up his shirt. And Jacob noticed that the kid has the ringworm, right? So then we see Janine and everybody in the teacher's lounge. So Jacob went down to the teacher's lounge, and Janine and Gregory are planning a date for themselves, right? Oh, also, you guys, if I didn't mention, if you guys like the glasses that I have on, and you guys want to get you something similar, or just get you some glasses, please get down in the description box, click on the link. Go use my discount code to get 50% off of your purchase. Back to the episode. So Janine and Gregory are planning a date, right? Jacob is planning to be a third wheel. I was like, Jacob, no. Don't be a third wheel, right? So then Jacob lets him know, oh yeah, one of my students, he has the ringworm, and Gregory got up out of that chair and jetted out their teacher's lounge, right? So he told him, it's okay. I sent him home, and I disinfected the place, right? So Janine and Ava was like, that's not enough, right? And it's so interesting because Janine and Ava were complimenting each other in this conversation, right? Janine would say something, and Ava would compliment it. Ava would say something, Janine would compliment it, and then they got to the point where they were like, this ain't right. So they said something, but it was the opposite of, and Ava was like, thank God. I was like, you don't want to ever agree with Janine? So then Melissa is telling Jacob, Jacob, I have a date with a guy who has a hot tub that is installed in his backyard. It's below ground, so that means that it was there. It's like somebody had to build it. So she wants to go on this date just so she can get in the hot tub. I was like, really, Melissa? So after that, we see Gregory. So Gregory went back to his classroom, right? So Janine came down to the classroom, knocking on the door. Gregory ain't answering that door because Gregory is really freaking out about this whole ringworm thing, right? This man has disinfected his entire class, right? Now, back over to Jacob. Remember, I just told you guys, Jacob sent his student home. This scene, I cracked up laughing at this particular part of the scene. So Jacob's student, remember, Jacob sent his student home. So why did a young man come back to school with a note from his mama? So the note from his mama said that you can't send him home. And basically, she said, you can't send him home. Don't send him home until 3 o'clock. She's actually, let me get what that lady said. She said, Mr. Hill, I know you, she said, Mr. Hill, I know that's wrong. Her kid basically needs to say it's going to 3 o'clock, right? She's told him she ain't the one nor the two, and that don't try her, try Jesus. Signed, Patricia. When Jacob read that letter, I cracked up laughing because it was hilarious to me. That lady said, don't send my child home until 3 o'clock, right? So what they're gonna do now is they're gonna try to isolate the kids, right? So they're gonna try to keep the younger kids away from the older kids, because with the older kids, it's easier to tell them, hey, don't be touching on each other, right? Whereas the younger kids, they want to play and have fun with each other. I was like, I don't know if it's gonna be the same for. I think it might be the same for both kids, but okay, it is what it is. So at this point, they've sectioned off the school, right? So the younger kids are on the bottom floor, and I guess the older kids are on the top floor, right? And so Ava has Mr. Johnson guarding, because they put the caution tape up, right? So Ava got Mr. Johnson guarding, making sure that nobody comes from the second floor down to the first floor. I was like, Ava, you want Mr. Johnson to do this? I mean, okay, Ava, I mean, if that's what you want to do, I don't think it's going to go the way that you want it to go, but okay, girl, we'll see. Again, I think that this is going to fail miserably when it comes to Mr. Johnson. I don't think that, it's going to work out the way that you necessarily want it to, but let's see how this plays out, Ava. Let's just say, for the sake of saying, let's see how this plays out, right? So we move back over to Gregory, right? This man done got a turtleneck from his desk, right? Got some gardening gloves on. I was like, Gregory, sir, what the hell is any of that gonna do? If you done came in contact with the ringworm, my brother, you got the ringworm. So I don't know what any of this stuff is doing, but he is being extra cautious of making sure that he don't have the ringworm. And I was like, okay, Gregory, I'm here for it. So Janine wants to ask him about their date. He said that date is on a TBD, to be determined. She said, I know what that means. I was like, damn, to be determined. So he also installed because when she left, he closed the door, he locked it, and he locked it. And she was like, this school doesn't have 2 locks on it. Well, the reason why it has 2 locks on it is because Gregory has installed another set of locks on their door. I was like, damn, he really don't want this ringworm. I mean, I get it. You don't want the ringworm, right? Speaking of him and the ringworm, Barbara, on the other hand, Barbara is not worried at all about getting the ringworm, because she is like, the good Lord is going to protect her from the ringworm. And she also thinks that because she's had it before, she can't get it again. I was like, Barbara, that is not how the ringworm works. But if that's what you want to tell yourself, girl, go ahead and, knock yourself out, right? But that is not how the ringworm works. It's absolutely not how it works. But okay, again, I hear you, Barbara. Speaking of Barbara, so remember, the floors are cut off, right? So the people on the first floor are not supposed to go to the second floor. Second floor is not supposed to go to the first floor. So Melissa sees Barbara coming from the second floor. She was like, whoa, Barbara? Girl, where the hell are you coming from? And why are you on the second floor? Well, she wanted to go get some coffee for the afternoon, right? And Mr. Johnson let her up there. I was like, see, Ava, this is why I said just shouldn't have let Mr. Johnson guard that stuff, because Barbara was able to bribe Mr. Johnson. I was like, exactly, right? But again, Barbara is saying she's protected by God. And Melissa poked all kind of holes in there. And she was like, I don't believe in God. I don't believe in God. Well, she said, well, I do believe in God. But then she started, as she walked off, she had to. The thing with Melissa is being selfish and worried about this damn date with this man with this hot tub. I was like, wow. Is this the only reason you're interested in this man? Because of a hot tub, Melissa? So, Jacob is upstairs with his class, right? So Jacob is talking to his class, and they were getting ready to leave for recess. And he was like, oh, you guys don't have to go to recess today. And they were like, why not? And he was like, well, basically, you can skip it. And they were like, he's like, it's really for the greater good. And one of his kids said, this is ass. He was like, I actually agree with them. This is ass, right? So then we see Ava. So Ava called down to the Atlantic to plant a story to them about her basically saving the school. I was like, only Ava in the middle of a quote unquote crisis would think about herself, right? Now, while she's in her office, a little girl comes in there covered in glitter, right? And the little girl said that her teacher sent her to the office. So Ava told her, go, leave. And so Ava got on the intercom and told the teachers, do not send any kids to the principal's office today. She said, kids, if you want to do crime, today is that day. I was like, now, Ava, if they want to do crime, today is the day to do crime. No, Ava, no. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. So Ava left out of her classroom to go find Mr. Johnson to have Mr. Johnson bring all the disinfectant to her classroom. But Mr. Johnson is standing in the hallway, and I think he's asleep with his eyes open, right? Now we move back over to Jacob's classroom, and so one of his students asked, can he go to the bathroom? And Jacob was like, you can't go to the bathroom because, we got to keep you guys separated, right? And the kid was like, well, Mr. C, I just have to use the bathroom. So Jacob, he caved and gave the kid the key, gave the kid permission to go to the bathroom. I was like, Jacob, do you really believe that little boy's going to go to the bathroom? Do you really feel like that kid's going to go to the bathroom? So then back in Gregory's classroom, one of Gregory's students came back in, and Gregory's like, wait a minute, where'd that jacket come from? You didn't have that jacket on earlier? Well, the kid texts his brother to bring him his jacket. Then he was talking about how his arm was itching. So Gregory freaked out, right? So Gregory let him know, like, somebody from up there has come down here. So they're like, well, the protocol is over, right? So Melissa is saying that it was Barbara because Barbara had went upstairs earlier, right? And Barbara was like, she is covered by God, right? Again, Barbara, I hear your girlfriend, but there's only so much God can do when it comes to stuff like that, right? So Jacob came down and was like, yeah, it might be, maybe I let one of my kids out, right? And so now they're blaming Jacob. And he was like, well, Barbara, he had enough time to dap you up and eye him, right? So at this point, the protocol is broken, right? So Jacob then Melissa's still mad at him about this. She's still upset about this hot tub, right? So Jacob then suggested, well, how about we put all the contaminated kids in the gym until school is out for the day, right? And one of us be in there with them. So he suggested that he volunteered, right? Unless anybody else wants to do it, nobody else wants to do it. So it is on Jacob. But then they were like, Melissa, but you live with him. She was like, damn. So Melissa went, right? So at the end of the school, they letting the kids out, and one of the little girls, she went to go hug Mr. Eddie. He was like, back that ass up, right? So Janine was asking him about the date, and he's still reluctant to do this date, right? But Janine walked out a little sad, and so he took the gloves off and everything. And so he said, what movie we watching? And that was the end of the episode. But then we see as they came back from a commercial break, Gregory had the ringworm. Jacob is covered in the ringworm. Barbara also had the ringworm, and she left for the day, right? Because she was like, oh, I got a tingling feeling of God all over me. And then she lifted her wrist to see she had the ringworm. So Barbara had the ringworm, Melissa had the ringworm, but good thing for her is the guy, his HOA, they found out about the hot tub, they kicked him out. So she suggested that they go somewhere on a date, but that was a violation of his parole. I was like, okay. I don't think Mr. Johnson or Ava had it. Only thing Ava had was a tapeworm, and now she looks good. I was like, oh, My God, only Ava. But yeah, you guys, that was the episode of Abbott. Overall, good episode. Let me know if you guys watched it, what you guys thought about it down in the comments section below. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, share the video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves, you guys. Wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.